Welcome, everyone, to our topic historical sources. The plausibility of a historical narrative is fundamentally dependent on the quality and quantity of data gathered and analyzed by the historians. Historical sources are therefore indispensable to the factual and accurate reconstruction of past events. First, they serve as the foundation of historical knowledge. Historical sources are the raw materials of history. They provide the evidence, the footprints of past societies and events. Without them, historical understanding would be entirely speculative and based on conjecture. Second, they serve as building blocks of historical narratives. That is, historians use these sources to construct narratives about the past. These narratives, while interpretations, are grounded in the evidence provided by the sources. Historical sources can take the form of remains and testimonies of witnesses. Remains or relics are the physical evidence of past human activity. They can include artifacts such as tools, pottery, jewelry, weapons, portrait, and the likes. Structures encompasses buildings, roads, and bridges, and irrigations. Human remains comprise skeletons, mummies, while environmental evidence involve pollen, seeds, and animal bones. Testimonies of witness are formal statements or declaration made by individuals who have first-hand knowledge of an event or situation. Such testimonies must be first-hand knowledge where such witnesses have personally observed or experienced the event they are testifying about. This could include eyewitness account, like seeing an accident, a crime, or rebellion take place. It can also be in the form of personal experience, like experiencing discrimination as an indigenous person, physical and verbal abuse, atrocities of war, or other forms of harm. We now go to written sources. Written sources of history can be broadly categorized into three main types: literature, diplomatic sources, and social documents. Literature or narratives can be valuable written sources of history, but they require careful interpretation. This literature often reflects the social, cultural, and political values of the time period in which it was created. The following are examples of literature or narratives. Scientific tracts. Scientific tracts refer to short, focused written works that share new findings or ideas with the scientific community, like possible cure for cancer and diabetes. Novel and films, on the other hand, depict social norms, gender roles, deliver moral message, and class structure. Poetry can express prevailing attitudes towards love, death, religion, and patriotism, like the Mi Ultimo Adios of Dr. Jose Rizal. Plays can satirize political figures and social issues. Newspaper articles, on the other hand, help shape public opinions. Then we have ego documents and personal narratives like diaries or memoirs. Diaries are daily record of events, thoughts, and feelings. Memoirs, on the other hand, are more selective and reflective than diaries. They are often written with a specific audience and purpose in mind, even if they initially intended for personal use. A biography is a detailed description of a person's life, written by someone else. Biographers interpret the facts and present a coherent narrative of the subject's life, often offering insight into their motivation, character, and the significance of their contribution. Let us now delve into the second type of historical source, the diplomatic sources. Diplomatic sources are documents and materials generated by governments, international organizations, and diplomatic actors that provide insight into international relations. Examples are the 1987 Philippine Constitution, statutes like Republic Act 9262, otherwise known as the Anti-Vowsy Law, and treaties entered into by the Philippine government. Diplomatic documents are considered by historians as the purest and best sources. The third type of written documents are called social documents, or documents that provide economic, social, political, judicial actions, and significance. They are records kept by bureaucracies like parliamentary procedures, civil registry records, census, and property registers. We go now to non-written sources of history. Non-written sources often provide a more complete picture of the past by filling in gaps and offering perspectives that may be missing from written accounts. They are categorized as material evidence and oral evidence. Material evidences are classified further into archaeological evidence, visual evidence, and material evidence. Archaeological evidence includes artifacts or objects created or used by humans in the past, such as tools, pottery, jewelry, weapons, clothing, and even food remains. Structures refer to man-made buildings, roads, bridges, and other construction that provide insight into past societies and their technologies. Human remains constitute skeletons, mummies, and other human remains that offer information about diet, health, and lifestyles of past populations. Environmental evidence, on the other hand, include pollen, seeds, animal bones, and other environmental remains that provide clues about past climates, ecosystems, and human-environment interactions. We go now to visual evidence. Visual evidence refers to the use of images, objects, and other visual materials to provide insight and information about the past. These visual sources can offer valuable clues and perspectives that may not be found in written documents or other form of historical evidence. Here are some diverse examples of visual evidence used in historical research. Paintings. Paintings often depict historical events, people, landscape, and social custom of the day. Sculptures are objects that offer insights into artistic styles, religious belief, and social hierarchies. Photograph captures moments in time, providing visual documentation of people, places, and significant events. Films document historical events, social movements, and cultural trends. We go now to material evidence. Material evidence refers to the physical objects and artifacts that people in the past created, used, and modified. These tangible remains offer a direct connection to past societies and provide valuable insight into how people lived, what they believed, and how their societies were structured. This includes tools and technology. Tools, weapons, and technologies used in the past provide insight into technological advancement and economic activities. Clothing and textiles. Styles of clothing and textiles often reflect social status, cultural identity, and changing fashion of the times. Let us now turn our attention to oral evidence. Oral evidences are accounts of the past that are spoken rather than written down. They can be categorized as follows. Folklore. These are myths, legends, and folk tales passed down through generations, often reflecting cultural values, beliefs, and historical experiences. Example of this is the life of Lamang, a famous folk epic from Ilocos. Oral histories. Oral histories are first-hand accounts of events and experiences collected through interviews with individuals, like World War II veterans and survivor accounts. Music includes songs and musical traditions that can reflect social and political conditions, cultural identity, and historical events. This concludes our discussion of historical sources.